Listen, I think it ends the year higher. We're consolidating, between call it 28 and 32,000.
Yes, it's this person. He said in February 2023, "What if Bitcoin were in 23 years, ending with $30,000? I will be the happiest person in the world." You may not be familiar with this person, but his prediction was quite accurate. As 32,000, it is now 23 years away, less than 2 months left. If there's no black swan event, steady at 32,000. It shouldn't be a big problem. Don't worry, he has another prediction.
Within the last couple months, you think that Bitcoin in the next 5 years or so can get to 500,000?
I do.
Turn your hand into the cloud. These people who cover their hands with rain, more or less, paranoid and rebellious personality traits, make a rude joke if you don't have a neurological history of more than 10 years. In this circle, absolutely unbearable. This goes up and down, sometimes surprised, sometimes frightened. Fluctuations in the currency circle. No one can stand it. The person we're going to get to know today. The neurosis of the currency circle. Just threatened Bitcoin. A boss worth $500,000. His name is Mike Novogratz. This person is Galaxy Digital, the boss behind the Galaxy Digital. His character traits are arrogant and flamboyant. Like to go to parties very much. I also like to hold parties. It can be said to be get rich overnight with cryptocurrency. Basically, you can call it a replica of Buffett in the currency circle. Not an exaggeration at all. But talking about old Mike, like Buffett in the currency circle, refers to the source of his wealth, as stable as Buffett, the only practical. But his character and Buffett is completely the opposite. Everyone has seen that Buffett is very stable, always high-rating glasses, the little eyes in the back are blinking. He also speaks very calmly. But the beautiful Mike, it will fluctuate with the industry of the entire currency circle, sometimes low ebb, sometimes manic, sometimes happy. Bitcoin now exceeds 30,000. I believe old Mike must be ecstatic. Not sure where to celebrate now. But this old man Buffett, I'm probably going to be pissed off now. This story has to start from 2013, in a Wall Street room, inside a very large luxurious office. Mike Novogratz is thinking about it. This mysterious thing in front of me, something called Bitcoin. How does it work? As the founder of Galaxy Digital, investment and push for Bitcoin. In fact, it worked. Very crucial role. The Wall Street Journal once interviewed him. The question is to say, how were you originally attracted to Bitcoin? How you got the idea to invest? At that time, old Mike, but I couldn't help but laugh out loud. I received an email one day. The headline is Bitcoin's future goal. He thought about it. How could there be such a thing in this world? What about something called digital gold? Out of curiosity, he opened the email. You need to know these big guys. There are so many emails received every day. If he can click on it, it means he is interested. So he read the email. Article sent to him. The article explains it in detail. The principle of Bitcoin, its white paper market outlook. It will represent in the future a new narrative for finance as a whole. Old Mike knows finance. The more he watched, the more interesting he became. Finally read the entire email. After doing research, he muttered to himself. He said, "It looks like I'm getting old. Even gold is going digital." Old Mike has been through this before. Countless ups and downs. Old investor, investment veteran, financial experts. So at that time, he and Buffett's net worth, it's several levels behind, well known on Wall Street. But if you want to join the ranks of top investors, old Mike thinks Bitcoin is a tool for overtaking in corners. But he also knows, must undergo in-depth research. Only then can you have the confidence to start. Hold bigger hand. So he started using his resources. Comprehensive analysis of Bitcoin. He starts with the price of Bitcoin. Bitcoin price in 2017. It's been soaring from $1,000 at the beginning of the year, increased to $20,000 by the end of the year. This crazy increase, old Mike was dumbfounded when he saw it. So Mike studied it carefully. Its price chart. Discover the price of Bitcoin. Not only is there no bubble, and has always been in the ascending channel. So next, he began to pay attention to the market dynamics of Bitcoin. he discovered the applications of Bitcoin. In fact, it is becoming more and more widespread, from the original darkened transactions, legal payments to date, digital identity verification and more. And with the development of blockchain technology, Old Mike thinks Bitcoin's future is brighter. After Bitcoin, research and comparison with traditional assets, Mike Novogratz finally made up his mind, want to only hard Bitcoins. He thinks Bitcoin is a revolutionary technology. It will subvert in the future the entire traditional financial field, so it will have most of its assets, rather than like the previous investment banks, 10%, 5%, 2%. He put most of his assets, all invested in Bitcoin, and vigorously promote Bitcoin awareness and usage, start preaching for Bitcoin. This decision is a big deal for Mike Novogratz. It is of great significance. On the one hand, his investments so far achieved very generous returns. On the other hand, he also became a leader in the Bitcoin field. One of the leading figures, his firm belief and vigorous promotion in the capital circle for the development of Bitcoin played a very, no matter what, that period of time. It can be said that Lau Mai has won the lottery, a sure winner in life. He said it himself. I was there from 2016 to 2017. I didn't do anything. I easily earned 250 million US dollars. As soon as these words came out, all Wall Street investment banks, proper and uniform, can be in jealous eyes. So one day Old Mike suddenly felt like saying, my business is so profitable, so many around don't know how to invest in Bitcoin. Wall Street financial tycoons, can I set up a company specifically? Come and replace these big households, solve investing in Bitcoin, problems with investing in cryptocurrencies. So Old Mike started, invest heavily in Bitcoin, and founded Galaxy Digital. Just as Lau Mai's worried about the future of Bitcoin, when you are confident, a sudden news surprised him. The Chinese government began to announce cryptocurrency trading prohibited and mining activities. This news is great for the Bitcoin market. It's a very heavy blow. All miners or traders are rats scurrying from China. Another good news is that all Western speculators start collecting funds at low prices, Bitcoin and crypto assets in the hands of Chinese players. But the price of Bitcoin, influenced by policy, it also started to fall in response. Old Mike was also very anxious at that time. He knows that if the trading volume in the Chinese market dramatically dropped without the push from Asia, that Bitcoin price, it is very likely that he will be unable to recover after a fall.
I like to think of Bitcoin as digital gold, a store of value, and that keeps the tempers or the nerves of central bankers down a little bit. When you start talking currency, they get nervous. But there's that tension there. But I think, listen, the cat's out of the bag. Bitcoin's not going away. Like, you threw everything you could at it, and it's up 80% on the year with interest rates higher. And so the adoption cycle continues. Big ideas are almost impossible to kill, and this is a really big idea.
The pair of Old Macs are setting up their new corporate entity behind Singapore. Everyone knows that 21 years. What followed was a blowout bull market, faced with rising currency prices. In the face of all currencies are rising, Old Mike started to feel a little confused, starting to get a little crazy. At the age of 22, Old Mike is all in one currency, called Luna. When the price of Luna, when it soared to $100, Mike Novogratz on his shoulder got a tattoo, just a wolf howling at the moon. Express your love for Luna with this tattoo. It was at this time that the road went astray. Ray also started coming around this time. So you see, people in good times is the most difficult to recognize oneself clearly. You will be in this trend. Money earned, blame it on me for being awesome. I'm awesome, I have this ability. So everyone sees, Old Mike is in the currency circle. After stepping over pit after pit, after hitting almost all the pitfalls, he basically lost hundreds of millions of dollars. But with all the complaints, people who are always willing to withdraw from the circle are different. Galaxy Digital isn't targeting Bitcoin. Old Mike knows that altcoins are altcoins. Bitcoin is Bitcoin. That's in China. After a set of regulatory punches fell unexpectedly, the U.S. Government also started to pay attention to cryptocurrency. Supervised, if you want to say, the last 10 years were Bitcoin, the words of the 10 years of barbaric growth. The next 10 years, Bitcoin should be resilient to prove one's worth. 10 years of adulthood, although you see, when you grow too well, when you grow up too fast, whatever is supposed to come or not will come. The most powerful thing is the SEC's first 2 days. To Binance and Coinbase, hit the hammer hard, so for a while, the currency circle is at the regulatory level. It's really a bit of a mess, although this number is not comparable to some Bitcoin tycoons, but for developing financial companies, this is already quite impressive figures and results, and Lau Ma is extremely convinced. The future of Bitcoin, we have seen countries like El Salvador, Central Africa, make Bitcoin a country as legal tender. We also see people like Jack Dorsey, Big Mac. There will be many financial tycoons in the future, non-stop in the capital circle, to preach and promote Bitcoin, just like the Jews back then, how to control the world's financial system. Now Bitcoin is also constantly encroaching share of traditional finance and its status. In fact, starting from 2010, Old Mike has already started, continue to dabble in Bitcoin investment, but at that time, it has a small position to play with. What does it mean that times make heroes? Just that time, as long as you have the opportunity to enter this industry. That is, if you win, you will definitely make money. At that time, a large number of nouveau rich were created. Bitcoin from 2016 to 2017 is in a state of constant improvement. The final price was locked at as $20,000. Such a small peak. 2017 is also the year for eco tokens, first of the pandemic era. To put it bluntly, they are little leagues, crowd investment or crowd gambling. There was none at that time. What are the application projects of encryption track? By the end of 2018, nearly $10 billion flooding into the crypto circuit. Everyone has motivation is to buy early. The price will go up no matter what. Then sell it and take advantage of it. Of course, there are a lot of frauds in ecos. Government regulatory policies also inconsistent. The eco bubble so far, it has already become history.
And so it's this inflection when they go from hawkish to dovish at the same time when the government's not acting responsible in spending. We spend too much money as a government, right? We're at 24% spending, 24% of GDP spending. That number traditionally has been 20.
So Old Mike started, invest heavily in Bitcoin, and founded Galaxy Digital. This is the first in the world, clearly proposed for the crypto industry, full-service financial company. His goal is to become the Goldman Sachs of cryptocurrency under the leadership of Mike Novogratz. Galaxy Digital business development is very fast. They can provide professional investors, provide Bitcoin investment advice, and participated in several cryptocurrency-related investment projects.
Guys, it's time to come to the table for the White House, for the SEC, for Democrats to sit down with the Republicans and give us some damn legislation so we can get on.
Old Mike began to think of countermeasures. On the one hand, he actively looks for new opportunities. On the other hand, we will intensify cooperation with various countries, government and regulatory agencies to communicate. With his efforts, Galaxy Digital successful, and the Singapore government reached a cooperation agreement. Cryptocurrency trading platform moved to Singapore. This news is great for the market. It's a very positive signal. It also gave Mike Novogratz greater confidence to promote the development of Bitcoin. 2022, thunder incidents in the currency circle are coming one after another. It can be said that Old Mike has stepped on it all over. Lau Ma's largest investment project, Terra Luna, crashed, and he, as the financial backer behind, we also suffered huge losses. And although Lau Ma didn't vote for SKEX, but he has a lot of assets, he's stored on SKEX. Fortunately, he has a billionaire friend. On the eve of FX's accident, gave him a warning. He transferred some assets in time, but the losses were still as high as $27 million. Galaxy also had to lay off 20% of its employees to maintain the company's operations. In a report for the second quarter of 2023, Galaxy Digital's net loss reached us $46 million. In the first quarter of 2023, net income $123 million. For this sharp contrast, although the financial situation is somewhat worrying, but how Galaxy Digital performs on the business side, but it's still gratifying. Game's revenue was $59.05 million, although it dropped 54% month-on-month. But because digital assets and derivatives, that realized income decreases, this income level is still acceptable. The most important thing is Gamma's asset management income is $33.08 million, a month-on-month increase of 619%. This is mainly due to, on other venture capital platforms, increase in net realized income.
Listen, I certainly hope the second quarter was the worst quarter we've ever had. It was a bad one. I mean, listen, in the third quarter already, Ethereum has rallied 75%, and it's still down 50% on the year. So you go figure. We had a forced deleveraging that happened because of a lot of imprudent credit policies at lots of places that I think exacerbated how bad the move would be. And that worst is over. There is no more forced deleveraging that's going to happen. And so now the market hits a new equilibrium and it waits for new narratives. And we have one in Ethereum with the big merge coming up where Ethereum moves from proof of work to proof of stake. That's a big, big deal. And that's why you're seeing Ethereum outperform.
Currently, Galaxy Digital still holds approximately 12,545 Bitcoins, values approximately $326 million, and several others. Comparing companies that shine in the crypto space, Galaxy share price volatility is minimal. In the past year, its lowest price is $3.33. The highest price is $8.03.